The regular season is complete, and it's time to get into the playoffs. Welcome back to this Madden 22 franchise. End of season number 5, the regular season, and we're sitting at right now 15-1-1. We win the AFC East. We get the number 1 seed in the AFC. So everything looking pretty good so far. Now, anybody that's been asking about, skill level or sliders, this is what I'm at the moment. Now, trust me, I adjust these a lot. I mean, depending on the patch, depending on the morale of the team you're facing, a lot of factors into sliders. Now, you can see pretty much everything is, all Madden, regular stuff, nothing crazy there. We'll get into the actual sliders here in a second. They've changed a lot since I've started. I had a lot of them at default before. You can still have a bunch of default. Now you can see, as for passing, like the reaction time, interceptions at 65. Some people that might seem high, but in my personal findings of Madden throughout, the past few years, if you have interceptions below 50, the coverage is just, it doesn't work. And still it has problems. And it's not like I get a high number of interceptions. I really don't. But to me, I find that. Now, for speed threshold, I used to have this up at 95, but after this last patch, I felt it just got a bit ridiculous. It was just guys were catching up to players that they shouldn't definitely be playing up, catching up to in the open field. But yeah, back to that. To me, the interceptions is the most important slider for sure. So I think if you're having troubles with pass coverage, just up that a little bit and see, how it goes, because I think that is a big thing. Because Madden sliders are so odd. They affect so many different things underneath the hood pretty much that we don't even know. And they're they're just not as in depth as, say, like NBA 2K or anything like that. So it's weird. One thing can adjust the other. That's why messing with sliders sometimes is a slippery slope for sure. But back to this. Tom Brady, 48 years old. You can see the season we just had. This dude is, he's 48 years old. He has refused to retire. I'm thinking this is going to be his last year, but geez, you just never know if it's going to be his last year. But he has been fantastic the entire season. You can see 5,500 yards, one short of 40 touchdowns, 39 touchdowns on the season, completion percentage over 70%, rating very, very high, and I think that might be an NFL record. We're going to take a look at the season stats. We'll look at the career stats as well. Look at the stats. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, breaks Peyton Manning's record right there, 5,500 yards in this franchise. So he holds the record at 48 years old. Not much else you can really say. He's the GOAT, that is for sure. Career stats, he's pulling away. 22, a little bit more than 22,000 yards, breeze. And then look at the touchdowns. More than 200 plus touchdowns than the next quarterback. I don't think anybody on that list is even still around. Maybe Russell Wilson, but that's about it. But man, what a season. What a career. Looking for his 9th Super Bowl. Can we get it done? And we have a really good chance. Very good chance. Best team right now pretty much in football. Number 1 seed in the AFC is the saying. So we have a really good chance of winning another Super Bowl for this guy in New England to end his career. Damian Harris had a very fantastic season. Over 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns. That's close to a league. We'll see here in a minute. Trey Sermon came over. Pretty good season as well. Over 700 yards, 5 a carry. He had 7 touchdowns as well. So you could see Damian Harris obviously getting the bulk of the carries. But in reality, this is more of a, 2 running back type set for sure. As Sermon definitely had his carries. And it was tough sometimes because when you're throwing the ball like we are and the receivers that we have, it's sometimes tough to even run the ball as much as we want to. Devontae Smith, 1 short of 100 catches on the season. About 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. Eli Widmer goes over 1,200 yards. His second season, this is the best season he's ever obviously had. 9 touchdowns. He was fantastic. Really down the stretch. Started slow. Reggie Robertson, 70 catches, over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Coming over from that Jets team. And DJ Chark, 56, 706, 6 touchdowns. Still a solid season. You just have so many weapons. Trell White ended up with 37 catches in his rookie year, so that's kind of what he is, a receiving back, third down back. So pretty decent season for him as a third string rookie. Connor Hutchins is going to lead us with 21 tackles for loss. Yeah, he led us in sacks too, 10.5 sacks. He was a fantastic rookie for sure. Kind of slowed down in the sack number sometimes, but yeah, you can see with the 21 tackles for loss, he was outstanding in the run defense. Clowney with 9, Vinovich with 6, Matt Milano with 5. We don't really have, it's kind of a collective group. Clowney's older. Vinovich is getting up there in age. You have Hutchins, but he's not like a pure pass rush guy. So we have to collectively get that, quarterback pressure. Secondary is fantastic. You can see the numbers there, pretty good with 4 picks. Sometimes I've had it lower. So, I'll take it when I have a guy over 3 to 4 interceptions. I'll take that. Let's go to the league leaders. Go over everybody's stats here. You can see we led the league in passing yards, obviously, with Tom Brady breaking the record. As for touchdowns, Russell Wilson, 41 TDs. He will lead the league with that for only player in the 40s. Joe Burrow, a very good season, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks. Could we possibly see him in the playoffs? We'll see, because we're going to go through, obviously, sim through the wild card weekend and then get to see what the matchup is going to be for the divisional round. We will not be playing the divisional round in this one. We're just going to go over the rest of the season statistics and everything like that and then get prepared for the divisional round. So that's what it's going to be. And probably, I would say tomorrow, we'll probably have the divisional round up. And, hopefully it's a victory because we can possibly move on. The show's coming up, next week? So I'd like to possibly talk something about that. And obviously a franchise reveal team who I'm going to go with. Some of the new stuff they're coming out with this year. It's not a lot of stuff, but what they have brought out, I actually like it. I think it's, a step in the right direction. I still wish they would overhaul scouting a little bit because obviously minor leagues is very important in baseball and, making scouting very good. I think obviously Madden's had his problems. Even though they changed up the scouting to Madden, they've had issues as well. So I think that's, I can't truly remember 2K. I think 2K is a little bit better, but still, some of these games need to overhaul scouting. Especially Madden because you got NCAA. I know it's probably a different team, but you got NCAA coming up maybe next year, the year after. I'm not sure when they're going to actually release it. But that scouting better be absolutely fantastic, especially for a college football game. That scouting better be just fantastic and make it deep. That's what college football is pretty much. Scouting those guys and rebuilding your team pretty much almost every year. That's what makes the fun of it. So I hope they do a great job with that scouting for NCAA football. I really, really do. Like I've said before, I don't like playing older games. That's just not me. The college revamp people have done a fantastic job. I've watched, plenty of guys, Bengal, Good Game Bro. I think Mr. Hurricane has a series coming up. A bunch of those guys that have done that, and it looks great. But I don't even own the game anymore, and it's gone up in crazy prices, and just not my thing. But let's get back to this one here. You can see the Cincinnati Bengals have beaten the Baltimore Ravens 27-10, and they win in this wild card round. Joe Burrow only 131 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson throws 2 picks. Joe Mixon goes over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So the Bengals are going to move on. Now, if the Ravens would have won this game, we would have taken them on once again in the divisional round, with them being the 7th seed. So now I believe we still get the lowest seed possible, obviously being the number 1 seed. The Giants go into New Orleans in overtime, win 26-20. The Raiders beat the Chargers 20-19, so they will move on. So there's your winners in that AFC wildcard game. The Rams go to San Francisco in a division, rival right there, 27-17. They will beat San Francisco. The Jets absolutely destroyed the Jaguars 40-16. Let's take a look and see what they got here. Malik Willis, 4 touchdowns as they go into Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence throws 2 picks. Kadarius Toney, 2 touchdowns of his own. Nobody over 100 yards receiving. The receiving number's a lot low, just touchdowns vary. 3 catches, 9 yards, touchdown. 3 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown. Look at the Lions. 42-14, the Lions. With a playoff victory after a division title, they will head to the divisional round. Man, good luck to the Lions. I really hope they... It'd be cool to see them go to an NFC Championship game. It really would. DeAndre Swift, 95 yards. But that running backfield is ridiculous. Bijan Robinson right there. Mechie with the touchdown. Hawkinson. Yeah, this team is very talented. There's a reason they won the division, and they're going to get they're in the divisional round. So we're taking on, of course, the New York Jets. Wow. What a matchup for this divisional round. The team we were just fired from last year, and we get to take them on with a chance to go to an AFC Championship game. So we'll take on the New York Jets. Reality, I was hoping maybe that we could set them up again in the AFC Championship game, but I'm just happy we're actually going to face them. Giants, Cowboys as well, man. Then you got the Raiders going to Cincinnati, and then you got the Rams heading to Detroit. So, some very good games in this divisional round. This Jets team we knew all about. We drafted Malik Willis. We drafted him. He was sitting there in the second round. We thought we'd give him a chance, and he took over. Zach Wilson wasn't kind of our guy. We went with Malik Willis, and he did a fantastic job for us. We never reached a Super Bowl, but still some very good playoff performances, playoff victories. And our first ever draft pick at number 1 was Derek Stingley. And he has turned into one of the best corners in football. So these two guys are this is going to be a tough matchup for sure. We've obviously faced them twice this season. The second game was a bit of a slop fest for each team. I think Malik Willis threw, 4 interceptions. Brady threw 2 or 3 interceptions. So maybe we'll see how that works out in this ball game, playoff time. Things start to ramp up a lot more. Mistakes are definitely magnified even more. We'll see. And it looks like it's going to snow, of course. Playoff time. New England, always something with the snow. Now, taking a look at the injury report, Xavier Howard is set to return. It says he can return, but like I said before, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little bit glitchy. He can return, but I can't bring him back. There's no return from IR. I look through it right there. There's nothing there. I would love to bring Xavier Howard. He would just boost our secondary even more for this playoff run, playoff stretch. But as you can see, there's nothing there. And there should be an option. It should be, return from IR, but there's nothing there whatsoever. Yeah. Unless I'm missing something, which I don't think I am, because it's usually there. I've returned guys from IR. Yeah, it's kind of glitched out. I think maybe it's just too late in the season. I think you might... What is it? I think you actually have to return by a certain time, right? So maybe that's it. Maybe you have to return by a certain time before you can get into the playoffs, kind of like the baseball rule. But that'll set up one heck of a matchup in this divisional round. The team we started this franchise with, the team that we took to an AFC Championship game, got absolutely blasted by Cleveland, but we thought we were building. We thought maybe give us another year, we can reach the Super Bowl. Nope. Woody Johnson and company said, I don't think so. You're done. You're fired. New England comes over to us and says, hey, we'll hire you. We got a coach opening. We need somebody to try to bring us back. And then we somehow land and bring over, with no Bill Belichick here anymore, Tom Brady. And it just completely 180 flipped the franchise again. And we face this team with the chance to go to the AFC Championship game. Like I said before, I would have loved if this game was the AFC Championship game. A chance to go to the Super Bowl. But still, what a heck of a matchup. It's going to be a good one. These playoff games, kind of the difficulty obviously ramps up. You're playing outstanding teams. With this offense, Malik Willis, Quincy Buckley, Kadarius Toney, they got a lot of weapons. Elijah Moore had a fantastic season. We know what they got. They might have one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in football. So, getting to Malik Willis could be an absolute issue. But I tell you what, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. I think our defense is absolutely fantastic. Number 1 defense in football. We've shown before that we can create turnovers from Malik Willis with a guy. He only thrown 11 picks in the entire season. We picked him off 4 in one game. So we can definitely do it. You got Tom Brady, you got the 48-year-old 8-time Super Bowl champion. There's no doubt that we can definitely get this done. And in this franchise where we have yet to win a Super Bowl, I think this is our time. We can get this done, go through the Jets, and we'll see what happens to go through there. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one.